Hello and welcome back to another episode in the Welcome to Serinosis series. This will probably be a shorter episode because it's just been a while since I made one, so I want to get one out quickly. And this one will, and since Thanksgiving was recently, at least for the people in the U.S., it got me thinking about food and stuff. So I'm gonna go over the staples of their diet and stuff. So yeah. I guess we'll go right to left, I guess. I don't know. Let's just do it that way. So, over here in this area, it's mainly about the same, because, this area in general has a lot more contact with each other, and then these areas have some, and then this area was basically on its own until very recently. So, these areas in general, since they have, the base connection, literally having a land bridge between them, for the most part share the same, diet and stuff. So they have wheat and bread. That's one of the main staples of their diet, and then they also have other stuff like fruits and vegetables and stuff, of course. So that's like that. It's basically kind of what you expect the generic medieval fantasy person to eat. And similar stuff for this. So some crops and then wheat and fruits and stuff like that. Except, it's a bit hard to see here, but here's a mountain range, and that kind of separates this continent into two different halves. And this half is pretty different. It's a lot more wet and stuff. So they mainly eat rice there as the big staple of their diet. And that is my best attempt at drawing rice, the plant, and that's a rice bowl. I'm not very good at that, but now, yeah, over here is a lot more wet and stuff, so they eat rice as a big staple of the diet, along with stuff like fishing. While it is mainly true for this area, there's also this part, which is vaguely based off of Mongolia at the time of the Mongol Empire and stuff. So, they are more so nomadic and don't really have agriculture as much. So their main source of food comes from hunting different animals. So there's a little T-bone steak or whatever to represent that. So yeah, they mainly hunt and stuff for food, while the rest of this area grows rice and stuff and other food like that. Over here, it's about the same as this area, because this area is normally very cold. You can see it's near the bottom of the world, but because of the gods and a bit of magic, the area around this lake is pretty warm, and about what you'd expect to be able to grow stuff like wheat and stuff like that. But over here is the Tazu, and they're pretty isolated because they are willing to be. It's not because of the mountains, mainly because they want to be more isolated. And so they eat very different stuff. Everyone in this world, because this is a more magical fantasy world, some of the plants and stuff also adapted to that, because if animals can, why can't plants too? So there are special kinds of plants that, instead of feeding off of sunlight and stuff, instead feed on pure magical energy in the universe. And basically, I mean, everywhere has them, but they're a lot harder to get into major growing in the same way as you can't farm them in the same way you can wheat and stuff. It's a lot harder to do so with these more magical plants. But the Tazu, who live in places with, in general, pretty bad soil, or in mountains with only a few places with good enough soil for other stuff, need to resort to that. And then also there's mushrooms, because they don't need sunlight or something. I'm pretty sure they actually can't grow inside mountains, but it's fantasy. Who cares? And then also along this bottom edge is a Serinosis, and then there's also Serinosis, I guess. And they're partially underwater. This one's fully underwater. And this one, most of the stuff that isn't underwater is very close to the South Pole and is therefore very cold and hard to grow stuff. So they mainly get their stuff from fish, trade, and also they eat some of the underwater plants like seaweed and stuff. And that's mainly what they eat. And then up here, like I said before, this continent has been very isolated. People didn't really know about it until recently. They just recently discovered it, and the rest of the world recently discovered it and stuff like that. But there were tribes of people on here before, and they would mainly eat, and they would mainly eat stuff like berries and game and stuff. So deer and other stuff like that. So berries, deer, nuts, fish, that kind of stuff. And I guess that's about it. Sorry for the short video, but I just need to put something out because it's been a while since I put out a video. My next video will probably be on like different monsters and fantasy creatures and stuff, so look forward to that one. That's gonna be pretty cool. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do to help out, but if there's just one thing to do, it'd be subscribing. It's very nice to see that number grow. Have a good day, and bye!